What up, everybody? Johnny Ward here with another episode of the Nerdyverse of Madness. This week, I got a fun one for you. I interview Nilla_Gorilla_13 on Instagram. He is a toy photographer, and his shots are spectacular. I don't remember what the first shot I saw of his was, but there's so. Oh, you know what? I think it actually was a Godzilla shot. I'm gonna go back in my DMs. I'm gonna check because I messaged him saying this is absolutely fantastic. I believe it was Godzilla shot. All right, I'm digressing, but I have a really great conversation with him. He talks about kind of how he fell into the hobby, how he practices, his preferences of practical effects over digital effects, and kind of how he learns, stumbling blocks, some of his favorite toys. I mean, all the kind of things you talk about when it comes to toy photography. I had a lot of fun with this one. I was so glad he came on. I hope you enjoy this one. Let's get right into it.
Interest in nerddom is at an all-time high. Where once we hid in our parents' basements, everyone is stepping out into the light and embracing fandoms with a newfound vigor. One man hopes to gather and speak with them all. This is the place where all fans can come and discuss the things they love, the things they hate, and maybe, just maybe, discover something new to devote all their time to. Welcome to the Nerd Podcast to rule them all. Prepare to fall into the Nerdyverse of Madness.
Hey everybody, Johnny Ward here with another episode of the Nerdyverse of Madness, and today I have toy photographer extraordinaire Jeremy, aka Nilla Gorilla 13. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing
Yeah.
pretty good.
Good.
Um, so I stumbled upon I don't remember what the first photo I saw of yours was, but I instantly kind of fell in love with the shots you're taking. So what inspired toy photography?
Oh man. Well, a lot of things. At the time I just was going through a lot of changes in life and was just looking for a new hobby. I lived in
Okay.
Colorado. I live in Colorado, so I was hiking a lot and doing that kind of thing. But I kind of wanted something I could do kind of more accessibly and more often. And the first thought I had was to start doing sketching. I was going to try to draw.
Okay.
And so I took a couple classes. I found a guy who had done some comics with DC and Marvel that was giving private lessons. Took a couple lessons with him and kind of learned some things about drawing. But what I learned most was that I probably wasn't going to get as good at it as quick as I wanted to.
Fair.
So I
Fair.
kind of was just kind of debating, and what got me was I don't know if you've ever looked into drawing, but they have those like kind of gray figure they use to like pose for comics and stuff like that. So they're like a gray action figure that has a bunch of articulation.
Yeah,
And
almost
then
like a articulate mannequin.
kind of, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
okay.
exactly. So I saw that thing and I saw a couple of the guys using those to do poses and for their sketches. And somehow along the line of me looking at that, I ran into a couple toy photographer accounts on Instagram. Sir Dork was one of the first ones. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. And then I forgot Mateo Toy Photography, I think his name was. And both of those just were super inspiring. I was like, wow, this is exactly what I want because I can do everything I want in a drawing, but I can do it with just putting a pose together with an action figure, and it kind of just stemmed from there.
Okay. I think I actually have heard of Mateo. I don't know Sir Dork though.
Okay, fair.
So you'd say those were your biggest influences?
Yeah, yeah. Sir Dork is huge. You should definitely check him out. He's got a big. The big thing with him is that he has a. If you're looking to learn toy photography, he's a great person to look up because he has a YouTube account that literally is just tutorials on how to do practical effects and different types of things with toy photography. And if it wasn't for his tutorials, I would have never known how to do any of this. I never had taken a picture on a DSLR camera until I started this hobby. So I just learned quick, and he was a big inspiration for me to learn.
Actually, now that you say that, I think I may have seen one of his. I dabbled with it a little bit. I didn't get super into it, but I did watch a video where he was creating explosions with
Yeah.
stormtroopers and like firecrackers behind his house or something. That might be him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally him. That's exactly him. Yeah. So he's a great person to have if you are looking to get into the industry because he just is very good about explaining it simply. And if you are a super beginner, he's perfect to look into.
Okay. So you had no background in photography at all before that?
Not, yeah, I mean, other than just taking pictures when I'm out hiking just for fun. I mean, I was just using my phone for most of it. It was some of those things I didn't even own a camera. I started taking pictures with my phone at first, and then within like a month, I knew I loved this hobby. So I just pretty immediately bought a DSL camera and just watched YouTube, man. Like I watched it like a class. I was watching it a couple hours, a day, just trying to find stuff to how to just take pictures in general on top of learning toy photography specifically.
Okay. So what's your creative process? Like start from like do you conceptualize any ideas from the beginning or do you just kind of think of something, go and try and find it or
It's a little column A, little column B, I think.
okay.
I think for me, what I find that it tends to be my most successful pictures is like I'm a fidgeter, a lot of people get fidget toys. So like what I'll do is I just typically have my figures within reach and I'll have they have these little like mounts that they bring, have for when you buy the toy. It's like a little plastic mount that can keep a pose or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll just kind of just fidget with a figure until I find a pose I like, and it kind of inspires me to find a scene. So, like the other day, I did a football because it was Super Bowl Sunday. I'm like, oh man, I really should get a football picture together,
Okay.
and it was snowing outside, so I just took my Miles Morales figure and just kind of just started messing with him, and it looked like he was kind of jumping over people. So then I just took my two other Spider-Man and made him look like he was jumping over them. It just kind of worked out that way. So I just kind of fidget till I find a pose that looks cool, and then I kind of work with it from there most of the time.
Okay. And do you take a lot of your shots at home? You mentioned you're going a lot, doing a lot of hiking. You still do a lot of that, little column A, B, both of that, or
Uh, I would say there's pretty much every shot I take, minus a few, is at home. I have like four different spots I take. I have actually my favorite thing I have is outside my it's this old humongous like bird fountain. And it's the
okay.
perfect thing to use because it's got a little dip in it. It's made out of stone, so I can either put like a bunch of dirt in it and make it look kind of like a dirt background or like you're in the woods or something, or I can fill it with water and do kind of a water look to it. I've done a couple of things where it looks like there's waves coming up and stuff like that by using practical effects to make the water move in the picture. It's either that, or there's another little place outside, or I'll take a couple shots inside. I've been dabbling with doing digital backgrounds, so I've been kind of taking some pictures in front of my TV and stuff lately.
Okay. Okay. And,
Yeah.
and what kind of tools do you use? You mentioned the camera briefly. You want to dive into that a little bit more? Do you have a few cameras you use?
I have one camera, but two lenses. So I have a 50 millimeter lens that I use for the outdoor pictures. It's pretty much, I think it's just the stock one that came with it. I have a Nikon. It's a pretty old camera actually. It's a Nikon DL3200, so it's a
Okay.
few years old, but it still does its trick. And I just have a macro lens that I use inside for anything I'm doing indoors. But it's a nice camera. It's just the big thing with doing the practical effects that I do is that you just need something that can have a really high shutter speed because you got to be able to catch the stuff in the air. So you got to have something that has a shutter speed that can at least have a shutter speed of about 1600 to 2000 at the bare minimum to kind of get that like that, where you have the special effects in the air with the water that just
Yeah.
stills and stuff like that. So I kind of had to learn all that. So I use a lot of practical effects. So I actually have like this. I don't know what it actually is for. I got it at Home Depot. I think it's to like if your pipes get clogged, it's like you pump it. It's like a pump gun,
Okay.
and you
Yeah.
pump it with air, and then and it pops, and it just makes this big like air kind of burst. And I use that for a lot of my practical effects because it'll knock the dirt exactly where I want it to go, or knock the water into the air the way I want it to go. So I use that for a lot of my practical effects. Firecrackers. So luckily, Denver is not illegal to have fireworks, so
Okay.
I'm
Nice.
able to use some cracklers and stuff like that. I don't go crazy, but cracklers are really nice because they put a lot of bokeh in the back of your photos and stuff like that. And then I got a really nice. I think that a big important thing to have that I really love is my tripod. Just you got to have a nice tripod if you're going to be doing this. It kind of is like the the silent hero of everything that I do.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I imagine that would be kind of key, especially if you're doing high shutter speed shots and
Yeah,
stuff like that, right?
yeah.
So what are your favorite kind of toys to photograph? Do you have like a particular brand? Like I'm sure you can see a lot of my Black Series standing
I do.
behind. I do know a lot of people love the Black Series. I've seen some amazing Black Series shots and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I like Black Series. I like a few brands. I think that the most I probably do is Marvel, DC, Turtles, and Star Wars. Those are probably the four big ones.
Okay.
I probably do Marvel and DC the most, I would say. I'm not even on purpose love Star Wars just as much, but I think the articulation of a lot of the DC and Marvel figures I have are just awesome. Like my Spider-Man
Yeah.
ones, they can just be in any position. So a lot of times I just kind of gravitate towards that. But yeah, Mafex is probably the brand I tend to magnet or go towards the most.
Okay.
I just feel like they have the best head sculpts. They're probably the best looking as far as a lot of of them go. But I've been delving in a few other brands. SH Figure Arts is always good, and Black Series is great for an affordable toy. Like I love Star Wars Black Series for
Yeah.
pretty much anything with a helmet. I don't like their head sculpts. Like if if I was like gonna get like an actual picture or somebody like trying to think of somebody good like a Princess Leia or Rey, I would
Yeah.
probably get a Black Series, but otherwise I like them.
Okay, and have you ever thought about kind of delving towards custom figure work? Because I've seen a few accounts that 3D print
Oh
the
man, it's
heads,
crazy.
and yeah,
On the
it's
props too. They can do the props too, it's crazy. Maybe, I think it's something that if I do it, it won't be for a while. I like, there's a lot of photographers, I'm not sure how many of them you're following that do like a lot of prop and custom work like you're talking about. And it's just a lot of back work. And I personally, sometimes I just want to get to the picture and do a lot of the work on
fair.
the editing. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of lazy when it comes to some of that stuff. So I do it, but it's way less often because it's just putting props together. You have like you bump it once and you like knock it all down. I've done it so many times, and you got like 100 little props you got to put back up. And I respect people who do it. It's hard to do. It's you have to be patient.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he's really into custom transformer stuff. He does take some photos and stuff, but he really
Yeah.
likes like paint, doing his own paint. And
Yeah.
he introduced me to eBay, and there's so many people who actually 3D print and um finish their own accessories or
Oh yeah.
replacement parts or upgrade parts. And I, I I've tried to find I've actually had a photograph in mind involving Thrawn and Vader and some Stormtrooper and Death Troopers that I have there, but involves a 3D printed piece of Thrawn's, like his battle armor that he's got in the helmet,
Yeah.
and I can only find a 3D print file, and like you said, I just don't have the time or quite the expertise to do it. I just want to go. I'll even pay a little more and just
Yeah.
buy it.
Oh,
But
I
there,
pay it. I buy it. Like I buy all the props I get. I love them, but I buy them all. It's like there's Grime City on Etsy is a big one. I get them on, and there's like a couple. Etsy's a good place too. eBay and Etsy are the two big ones. So, um, I love it. I think that I really think it's cool what these guys can do with those little baby props. It's crazy. I mean, the details that they put in, like I bought a door from them and it just like got all this little graffiti and stickers on there. It's dope.
Oh
But I
wow.
just don't have the patience, you know. I think the farthest I'll probably ever go is like weathering. I've seen people weather stuff. I
Okay.
might do that, like, you know, just to kind of make it look like it's been beat up in battle type of thing. But
Yeah, yeah, that's probably a little bit easier. I've done a little bit of miniature painting, but I don't have the time, the
yeah,
space, or
yeah,
near the
yeah,
amount of patience required for it.
100%. I'm right with you.
All right. So, what are your favorite, like, what are some of your favorite shots or your favorite projects you've done? Like, I was just looking at your highlight today of your slam dunk contest. Like,
Yeah,
I find that really fun. Like, is there
yeah.
anything that you love the most?
Uh, you know, I like doing practical effects, I think, more than the inside effects thing. So practical effects for sure tend to be my favorite shots, I think, especially when I can get the practical effect to look like what I want. Because sometimes that's the hardest part is like, you know, you could splash water all over the place and make it look cool in the background, but you want to do it with a purpose,
Yeah.
you know. So that's kind of where I'm trying to get better at. And any of my shots that there's a really there's a shot I did with Constantine. It's a Mezco figure, and
Okay.
it's a picture of this water coming up, kind of like a wave, and it looks like he's holding it up with his magic kind of
Oh,
situation.
nice.
And that was one of my favorite practical effect ones, I think, that I was able to do. So, um, yeah, I think that tends to be um, what I like better. Like I'm getting better at the digital stuff, but I definitely enjoy going out and blowing things up and throwing, you know, dirt in the air and just kind of making a basic kind of background with the things that I have, where it's like, you know, not 100 props, but it's going to be a couple rocks and just things to add some texture, you know, and depth to your picture. So
Yeah, I mean computer animation has come an amazing way, but I grew up loving Ray Harryhausen, like old
yeah,
school practical effects. I mean, look at the original Star Wars trilogy. I love
yeah,
Godzilla movies, the old school.
yeah.
There's just something about that
A
practical
hundred
effect.
percent. And you'd get so many things even out of those 70s things. You go watch some of the stuff they did with the 70s Star Wars movies, and you can use that in the photography you're doing out here. I mean, they were using almost, you know, maybe a little bit bigger than 12 scale, but they're using toys, you know, at
Yeah,
the end of the
no,
day.
absolutely. So how long does it take you to take a shot like that Constantine shot? Like was that I imagine some days run a little smoother, especially with trying to get water to flow where you want it to.
Yeah.
Like are does it take long like, the
What
average amount of shots per finished product?
when I was first starting, it took me longer. You know, I would
Okay.
say it probably would take me, you know, just for the shot, not including editing, it would probably take me like an hour, 45 minutes average. I think now I've gotten it to a point, especially where I have like kind of my four places I always consistently take pictures. I could probably just the photo alone get it done within 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then editing varies if I'm trying to do some like real cool stuff like adding lightsabers or, you know, doing the
Yeah.
dunk and having to take it might take a little while to edit, but I think all in all with even editing, I could I could get shots done between an hour and a half at the longest. I mean, there's some that take like the prop ones I try and or even the digital ones take me longer, but I think that's more because I don't have a setup. You know, like I don't have a table that I can
Yeah.
just leave out that has its screen ready to go. I have to like pull out stuff to get it to be where I need it to be to make that picture happen. So
Yeah, I have one little corner in my basement that my wife has allotted me, and I use it for all my little side projects. So every time I come and do something else, I gotta close everything up, pull out everything. I don't have a lot of space as
yeah.
is, but
Yeah, and I'm the same. It's like the place I'm in right now is not big. There's not a lot of space, but I make it work. You know, nice thing about this hobby is you don't need a lot of room. You know, you only need a little square and you can make it work. So,
okay. Now, when you're doing your editing, what kind of programs are you using? What?
I use Photoshop for sure. Yeah, I was trying to do stuff on my phone. Like, there's a couple ones that are pretty decent on there. I know a couple toy photographers use like PixArt and they use Snapseed,
Okay,
which
okay,
are both really good for your phone and they're free.
yeah,
I know I was doing that at first, but then I just got into it enough that Photoshop's like $19 a month. I'm like, it's no different than getting another streaming thing, and I use it probably just as much. So, I just, again, and same thing I did with everything else. I just went on YouTube and I just like watch videos on how to do all of it. It's like that. It's nice having that resource because you can look up like, how to add fire or how to look to make a lightsaber, and you can find stuff like that.
Yeah, I have no idea how I did anything in my life before YouTube.
Yeah, me neither. It's like we had to look at those encyclopedias that you had to buy from the door, or you
Yeah.
get that one set that you had for 20 years.
Yeah, I know my son's constantly finding some new show to watch and he'll throw it on and I'm like, you have no idea what it's like to be able to just put on what you want and pause
Yeah.
it when you want, you know?
You have to use to run to the bathroom. You're like, the commercials are here.
Yeah, yeah.
Rush to get back.
I read this internet joke the other day that was like, I wonder how long it is till someone just combines all the streaming services and reinvents cable. Because
Oh yeah. Did you
there's
put that
so,
up on your Did you put that up on your page by chance?
I might have, I
It's
might have.
because I saw it yesterday too, and I'm like, maybe it was actually on your page though that I saw it. But yeah, it's hilarious because it's like it's basically what it's become at this point. It's
It,
gonna,
it really has, yeah.
yeah.
So I don't imagine you're doing it full time. You do, I imagine you have a full time adult job.
Yep.
So how do you find the time? Like, are you kind of doing it whenever you have the chance, like every free moment, or
You did pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's just like right now, I mean, like as a person, my personal life is kind of boring. So, I mean, not to say it's not boring, but I have time. So a lot of times when I have a little off time, sometimes it'll be weather based. Like I'll just be kind of sitting up having my breakfast and the sun will come out outside and I'll be like, you know what? The sun is perfect right now to take a shot. So I'll just kind of run out and take one. So yeah, just whenever there's no specific time, I just try to just stick it in I try to get at least one photo in a day if I can do it.
okay? And do you edit right away, or do you just kind of do you
I
dedicate
try to
some
edit right
time?
away,
Yeah.
but I don't always edit right away. It depends. If I got work that day, I might go take a picture and then, go to work. And then when I get back home, I'll edit, if I only have time to actually take the picture. Because a lot of times, like the picture itself takes 20 minutes. Editing always takes longer than the actual picture for me. So I can take a picture in 20 minutes and get it done and run out, but then I'll come home and take, the 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the editing separate.
Okay, okay. When you started this, did you immediately jump to Instagram? Was this kind of a slower process, or is that just the place you wanted to go to showcase it?
I, Not right away, actually. I just started taking them to take them at first. So I probably had been taking pictures for maybe 2 months before I went ahead and started an Instagram account. I kind of had the intentions of doing something like that because I just wanted somewhere to put them,
Yeah.
other than just myself. I don't think I ever really have, and still really don't have intentions of like, I don't know if it naturally ends up that way, I guess it's fine. But I never really had intentions of doing this other than just a hobby. So
Okay.
it's just kind of I almost wanted to just really do it as a portfolio for myself on the line, and it just kind of happened that it started to grow a little faster than I expected. I mean, I'm not insanely huge by any means, but I didn't expect to get 2 or 3 thousand followers in the first couple of years of doing it by any means. So it kind of just like an icing on the cake, an extra bonus. So um, yeah.
Now, has anyone ever approached you in regards to like providing you with toys to shoot? Like, has that?
Not yet, but I'm hoping that that's my one thing I would love. I'm like, if I could get some free toys in this whole situation, that would
Yeah.
be dope. But I mean, I did have what was the brand called? Gravistar. It's like yeah, it's like this kind of nerdy tech thing. They like make like phone chargers and like a wireless speaker and just like weird, but they make it look like it's from Star Wars. So
Oh.
they have like here, I'll show you. I know that we're on a podcast and they can't see it, but I'll show you what this guy looks like. Like they sent me this little charger that looks like like a
Oh,
little,
that's
almost like Chappie.
yeah, it does.
And it lights up whenever you plug them in. And they gave me a couple of those guys for free to do a few photos for them. So that's my only little claim to fame was with them, but it was cool. I got a couple free little chargers from it.
Yeah, that's why I'm always going through chargers, so you can never really have a
Yeah.
shortage of
Well,
those,
especially
right?
especially a nerdy one, you know. It's like, oh, cool.
Do you ever, I know you said when you're kind of planning ideas, you're just sort of fooling around with your figures, but are you ever at work and then you're like, oh, I wonder, an idea will pop into your head and you're like, oh, let me see if I can recreate that. And do you keep like a notebook around or jot it down on your phone or
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah. No, that definitely happens. I have just a specific note on my just iPhone that I just have that at any moment, if I just think of something, I'll be like, oh, I got to put that in there. So yeah, that totally happens pretty often. Um, and I've done a couple recreations of just old photos. Like I haven't put it up yet, but like there's that old Muhammad Ali photo where he like is up standing above Sonny Liston. You kind of take some of those old photos like that, and I've tried to recreate some of stuff like that, or I'll have an idea of like a specific action I want to do, and I'll look up poses online a lot too. Like yesterday, I just got this. Have you ever heard of Super Action Stuff? It's like
no, I haven't.
we're talking about props. It's like a place that does props for. They've done like this casket of cruelty that was like a bunch of different blood splatter plastics that you can like put
Oh,
onto your
okay.
guy to look like. Then the recent one they brought out was called is there like a sport one. So they have like a soccer ball, a basketball, these arcades, all these different like. So I was taking soccer ball and I don't know if you watch old kung fu movies, but there's one called Shaolin Soccer. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I've never heard of that, but I
Yeah.
do like some old kung fu movies for
Yeah.
sure.
Have you heard of Kung Fu Hustle by chance? You know about that
Yes.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so the
do.
same guys who did Kung Fu Hustle did this other movie called Shaolin Soccer, and it's like this corny kind of kung fu meets soccer thing. And there's a really cool shot of this guy just hitting and I went and looked it up and I just use it as a reference. So there's a lot of times I either use a reference or just something will pop in my head. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And I'll just yeah, put it in my notes.
Okay, yeah. So I see here. I actually I don't drink anymore, but one, back when I did, I made this really quick impulse buy on Wish.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if it's really coming through at all. It's
Mike
a
Tyson.
Mike Tyson figure. Cost me
Yes.
like $8 and it actually turned out really well. I mean,
Yeah.
these Everlast shorts, it's got a couple different heads and stuff like that. And this is one of the greatest things I've ever bought. It's $15, I think, with shipping, but it's
Yeah.
really articulated. And when I got it, I'm like, I want to get a Superman figure and do the Muhammad Ali Superman shot, but
Oh, yeah.
and I just haven't gotten around to it. I do have a really nice Superman figure. I don't have it here with me, but
That's okay. Yeah,
um,
that's that Mike Tyson one. There's a couple versions of him I really want, but there's the specific one I want is like when he looked with his hair when he like from the '80s version
yeah,
of him.
oh yeah, yeah.
But man, it's like I've been looking on eBay to get it on on the aftermarket, and it's like $500 or something. I'm like, I can't justify putting that kind of money into a toy, so I just am gonna wait till I find one cheaper.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will re-release it or
I'm
re-release
hoping.
something close. What would you say is, do you have any pivotal moments in your journey as a toy photographer? Like you're sitting on YouTube watching different videos, kind of learning different techniques. Is there anything that you tried to do quite a few times and then it finally happened and you're like, yes, or
Yeah, I mean, the practical effects of that standstill, like, look, that took me a couple times because there was a couple to back to that Sir Dork. He had a couple tutorials on how to do it with your phone, and it worked, but it didn't work like I wanted it to. Like I wanted to see bokeh and like a real standstill where it looks like it's just stuck in the air, And one of the first shots I took was this shot of Predator as a Sith. He was just kind of standing, like looked like he was doing the Force, had the lightsaber behind him, and I took my hose and I put it on like spray mode, and I was just hoping to get it, and I just had recently got that camera, and I took the picture, and it looked great. It just like had the rain perfectly how I wanted it to, and I got
oh,
the light
nice.
with the red. And at the time, it was just like mind blowing that I finally got something to work because there was just a few times that I was just like, probably 10 or 20 times I was trying to do something and I just like could not get it. So that was kind of that picture that it was actually the first picture I put on Instagram. That was what actually prompted me to finally go on Instagram. I was like, all right, I'm ready. And
I got enough skill now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm good enough to get on here and not be embarrassed by what I'm doing. So.
Okay. Do you have any upcoming projects that you're really excited for, or new directions you want to take, new techniques you want to try?
Just I'm just gonna continue trying to find new ways of taking pictures. I think that my big thing this year was learning how to edit better with digital indoor stuff. Like I know it's not my favorite way of doing it, but I really enjoy what they turn out to look like. And there's some really awesome toy photographers that really just take some What's Up Danger, Ian Sanders, and First Strike Figs. Both those three accounts, they have these awesome like indoor kind of like 1920s kind of style to them that I really love, and I would love to try to delve into that a little bit. But and just to try to just keep making my shots better, like my practical effects, I want to continue making them purposeful. Getting better at not just having it be an explosion in the background, just to have an explosion. Just trying to get just technically better at my posing, and just always trying to tweak. I think is my biggest goal.
Okay. And do you keep up with like, are there any toy newsletters or accounts? Like, are you kind of keeping up with what's coming out? Because, like,
Yeah,
you have a Mike Tyson that you want to photograph. Are you kind of always look and see what's coming out to be like, ooh, I could
yeah.
take a picture with that? Or,
Yeah, I think that the big ones are the feature sites. I think those are really nice to go to follow. So Toy Pick Community is the really big one that I feel like a lot of people should look into if that's what they're trying to get into. They're really good about featuring. They have a top 10 thing they do every week where they nominate 20 to 30 different photos, and depending on the amount of likes, it gets them to, you get put on the list in that order, so you can make the top 10. And if you win, you get like a little baby prize, but it's still kind of cool. That was kind of a big moment for me, was when I actually won that for the first time a couple months ago.
oh, nice.
Just because they got 30, 40,000 followers, something like that. So it was kind of cool to win something like that. And then I actually am an admin on a feature site too, Toy Shot Sightings, and we
Okay.
do a lot of featuring there too. So if you are a toy photographer, I think that's a great place to, just help you find people in the community, and also just to kind of get featured so people can find you. Um, and a lot of ways I find out about new toys is there's Toy Pick Community also has a YouTube site, and they have a lot of just kind of a lot of different people talking about new things coming out. So there's a ton of different people you can listen to on there. And then also just toy stores. I follow Big Bad Toy Stores, and I look at theirs a lot
Okay.
about.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm familiar with that one. I followed that for a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're running a little shorter on the time now. What kind of tips and advice would you give for anybody else looking to start out in toy photography? I mean, you kind of just came onto it. I'm sure there's tons of other people out there who are dabbling at the idea, just kind of need a kick in the ass to get them out there. What would you tell them to do?
Well, first off, the minute you start doing it, you're gonna get hooked, because that is exactly what happened to me. I thought I was gonna take a couple shots, and it ended up being 2.5 years later, and I'm taking a shot a day. I just say go on YouTube. I really think Sir Dork has the best tutorials if you want to go. I think if you really want to look at just the basics you need to know, whether you're going in for fun or whether you're really trying to go in and make something out of this, he has something for everybody on that. And just go on YouTube and just look and try different things. Like, don't get discouraged. Just keep trying to do different things, and eventually you're going to figure it out. Like, there's just going to be a point where you have an epiphany and you're like, oh my God, that's how you're supposed to light this. Oh my God, that's how you get that effect. And, it's fun. Once you get into it, it's a fun time.
Yeah, as they say, practice makes better.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there any personal challenges that you had setting up that maybe you could just share it off to so somebody else could avoid those, or do you think it's all part of the process? You want to keep those secrets to yourself? Or...
No, I mean, I think the challenges are keeping at it. I think that, um, try not to make it too complicated. Try to push yourself to try something different. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's hard to specify a specific challenge because it's like every time you take a picture, there's always something random that happens, you know? Like I think the biggest challenge of taking toy photos is not knocking it over all the time. I swear I knock that thing over like every other because I hang things a lot. I use like a
Okay, yeah.
like hang wire and I have to take the wire out, which is easy, but it's like how many times those things just fall on me. I'll go grab something, come back, and it's just on the ground. Or
Yeah.
yeah. So the big challenge I think is just being patient. Like if something falls down, just pick it back up and try it again.
Yeah, you really just got to stick to it. I mean, even doing this podcast, like I originally did it a while, like a year ago, and then my mic sounded like garbage. It's good that I abandoned it then, but every time I edit an episode, I hear something, I'm like, oh, I'll do that different. Oh, I'm going to do this different. And then I remember about 40% of it until the next time I do an interview, but it just kind of snowballs and you're
It
just going to get
does.
better. Yeah. No
Yeah.
matter what it is, right?
Yeah. And it's just like, you might not feel like you're exactly where you're supposed to be, but you give yourself a little bit of time and like you said, practice makes better.
Okay, so are any shout outs you want to do? You've mentioned Sir Dork a couple of times. Any comrades in the Instagram space or anything
I
else?
mean, yeah, I mean, I always got to, there's a lot of people. Papa Mulan and Half a Day Rebels are two of my good friends on there. We talk all the time. So shout out to their accounts if you ever want to see some cool stuff. The Behind the Plastic is also a really cool thing to look into if you're into this kind of stuff. Behind the Plastic, they do like a 12-minute interview every Tuesday and Thursday with different photographers and talk about how they got into it and different advice they have. So that would be something I would recommend if you're trying to get into this as well. And yeah, the Sightings page is my admin page if you want to check that out. And yeah, Toy Pig Community, I guess would be the other one. Yeah.
All right. Well, any final thoughts and also where can we find you? I know I shouted you out. Anywhere else? Like, are you just on Instagram? Are you on Facebook? Any other?
Uh, I'm pretty much just on Instagram. I have a TikTok account, but I mean, to be honest, I haven't done anything on it in probably like 6 months, but I will eventually get back on it. But yeah, definitely my page, Nilla Gorilla _13, is my toy photography page. Definitely check that out. And then yeah, that's really it. I mean, I'm just gonna keep on trying to take pictures, and if you do follow me, I hope you enjoy what I put out.
Any goals of making a YouTube channel? Do kind of your own tutorials, or
I have
is
thought
it
about it.
just going to be you standing there being like, "You should go check Sir Dork"?
Yeah, right. I thought about, actually, what I have thought about doing a YouTube. I want to do a DIY YouTube where um, I bring on a guest person that I know does a certain kind of a thing and just they show how to do it. Like where it's like, okay, I brought on this guy who's really good at, doing indoor digital stuff. And I'll do my own little ones on there too, probably. But if I were to do one, I'd love to just do it too. I would just, because I want to give people an opportunity to know how to do this stuff. So that would be what I'd be passionate about if I do start one. So yes, I might. I'll let you know if I do that.
Okay. No, no, that's awesome. I think that's a great idea, and I'll have to bring you back on once you start
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'll hit you up just to see, if I do it or not. It'll be fun if I do, but I
All
gotta
right.
I gotta get motivated.
Okay, perfect. Well, I want to thank you again so much for coming on, Jeremy. It's actually been really fun, and
Yeah.
I'll talk with you soon.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great one.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Bye. Well, there you have it, guys. That was my interview with Nilla Gorilla _13. I had so much fun with this one. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. You need to go check him out at Nilla Gorilla _13 on Instagram as well as TikTok. But like he just said, he's more active on Instagram. You got to look at his shots, they are absolutely fantastic. So be sure to go check him out, give him a follow, shoot him some likes, and if you like what you see there, go check out his buddies as well and give them some love. You can find me at thenerdyverseofmadness.ca. That's my website and blog. You can find all my socials linked at the top as well as the show notes in this episode. Pop your email into the blog, give it a follow. I share some amazing stuff there. My thorough book reviews are there. I have a couple other breakdowns, and all my interviews, the majority of my guests do print interviews as well with questions that you won't find in the episode, as well as some other people who aren't willing or able to come on the podcast, be it their English skills are just not strong enough and they're not comfortable with it, though I'm extremely patient, and I'll take as long as it needs to. If you want to come on and your English isn't very strong, it's no problem on my end. But there are other people who are just not comfortable sharing the voice or their faces or what have you. I have an interview with a bookstore owner coming out next week. This week I just dropped an interview with a little cosplayer. She is just the cutest thing. She's 7 years old, and she has met Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Vivian Lynn Blair, who played Leia and Kenobi. The coolest thing about her is that she makes bracelets and then sells them online and uses that money to meet these celebrity heroes of her, and I think that's so cool. And her mom was kind enough to help her answer the interview questions. I'm really excited about that one, so go give it a like and share it. She is just the coolest little kid. Anyways, that's it for me this week. I hope you enjoyed. Go give me a follow, and be sure to subscribe to this podcast. It adds visibility and just helps my reach so I can keep continuing to share these amazing creators around the world and keep doing what I love, because I'm having so much fun doing this, and it's just been a blast, and every little bit helps. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, peace.
That is all for today, but what kind of discussions will the one and only Johnny Ward get himself into next time? Will he discover a new collection to spend all his money on, or something to read for the next year and get depressed when it's done? Find out next time on the Nerdyverse of Madness.